Shalom, brothers. It's Akkad Lamad again with another lesson. I want to give all praise and honor to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders up in New York, GMS, and honors to all the brothers out there that are teaching the truth. All right, in the GMS family, as well as the ones that are outside of the GMS family that are telling the truth. Okay, that are speaking the gospel. All right, and today I'm gonna get into a lesson basically going into judgment. All right, the judgment that's coming to America, and the fact that it's not going to be slack. All right, it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen, as deemed by the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, that's when it's going to happen, when it's set to happen. We don't know when exactly the end of America is going to come to pass. All right, but it's going to come to pass. There are even some other prophecies that we don't like. We don't know the exact date and time they're going to, as for now, we're going to bring in martial law or implement the chip. All right, launch their attacks on Iran. I mean, they put them out there, but we're going to have to wait and see for it to happen. But we are seeing a lot of these prophecies coming to pass. All right, and there are a few more prophecies that are yet to come to pass, but they're quickly coming. All right, if you're paying attention to the signs and the times, you know that the remaining prophecies left to be fulfilled are going to be fulfilled. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of the Most High's time. Okay, because it might seem like at times that things aren't really chugging along the way they should. All right, it might seem like things are moving slow, which they aren't, but everything's going to happen according to the Most High's clock. All right, and we know from the signs of the times, which we're going to get into in these scriptures coming to pass, that we're going to read, Salakia, that the end of the world, the end of the so-called white man's world, the end of America, all right, is very close. Okay, and like I keep saying, it's going to happen when He determines it to happen. So I'm going to start off here with Isaiah 55 verses 10 and 11, and it says, "For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth a bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater, so shall my word be so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it." So the Lord's word going forth out of His mouth, alright? How is it going forth out of His mouth? Through the prophets He set up to speak out here and condemn this wicked kingdom, America, like Jeremiah 28 verse 8 says, okay? Coming up against great countries and great kingdoms of war and of famine and of pestilence. That's how the word is going forth out of the Most High's mouth, by His ambassadors. Like Paul said, he was an ambassador for Yahweh Shai. We're His representatives, His spokesmen. So we're out there week in and week out, all right, bringing forth the words of the Lord, the Lord's word, Salakia, all right, proclaiming that there's martial law coming.
Now to a News 10 exclusive. A Stockton man wants an apology tonight for a wake-up call he should have never received. It is a story you'll only see on News 10. Lee Painter tells us why police and federal agents knocked down his door.
This is what they did to my door.
At 6 this morning, a SWAT team surprised Kenneth Wright at his front door.
In my underwear. Before I get to the door, I hear him say, "Hit it." And I get ready to hit the door, and they hit the door. It almost hit me. So I said, "Hold on." They hit it again. I said, "Hold on."
But the SWAT team busted in, taking Wright.
They come grab me by my neck and drag me out my house to right there in the grass.
Thrown to the ground and handcuffed, law enforcement then searched his house.
And they put me in the backseat of a police car for over 6 hours. From 6 o'clock to 12:30, they had me handcuffed in the back of a police car with nothing on but my ripped up underwear that they ripped in the yard.
Wright says they also woke his 3 children, holding them for 2 hours, but they failed to find their quarry, Wright's estranged wife. Wright later complained to Stockton's mayor and police, but the city pointed to the U.S. Department of Education.
They say you owe a student loan and you gotta pay it. I just had my door kicked in because of this.
With the help of the Stockton Police Department, News 10 was able to contact one of the federal agents who was at the search this morning, who gave us a Washington, D.C. number for the Office of the Inspector General, who confirmed it was the Department of Education who conducted the search, but they can't discuss anything in the case until it's closed, not even if it's policy to break in and handcuff people who default on student loans.
They put this here and they said, we fixed the hole. The hole is the least of my worry.
That there's famine coming, that there's race riots coming, all right, that there's gloomy and there's gloomy days coming, all right. So that's how the word's going forth out of his mouth. We're out there prophesying. It is not going to return unto the Lord void, meaning it's going to, like it says here, it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I send it. So whatever the Lord says is going to happen is going to happen. Alright? As men of the Lord, you got to have faith to know that it's going to happen, whether it happen tomorrow, in a week, in a month, in several months, or a year, alright, or a few years. No matter how long it takes his judgment to come to pass, it's going to happen. At the same time, though, we have to have the attitude of hastening the day. Okay, you can't get into some complacent attitude. Well, you know, when it happens, it'll happen. All right, well, we could be here another this. No, I mean, it could happen. What if we were here another 10 years? It could happen, but that's not supposed to be your attitude. Your attitude is supposed to be, the Lord is going to destroy America yesterday. All right, that's supposed to be our attitude. All right, so I'm gonna read this verse once again. It says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I send it. Alright? And when you go to 1 Corinthians 14:1, Paul said to covet, to prophesy. Alright? That's the only thing in the Bible that it says to covet after. Alright? To prophesy. Alright? And like I said, what are we prospering about? I mean, what are we prophesying about? The downfall of America and all the what's the word I'm looking for? All the gloom and doom that's coming with it. All right, the days leading up to it. All right, because it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty at all. The days coming to America, or it's gonna. It says in Daniel, this is going to be such as never has been seen on the earth. All right, so it's going to be bad times. People starving, cannibalism, alright? Eating your own children and friends and all that. Getting shot down in the streets, alright? And it's building up to that point here in America. All these other countries in Europe and in the Middle East are rioting. It's only a matter of time before that comes here to America. And when it hits America, it's going to be 10,000 times worse than it is in those other countries. Why? Because America is the most armed country on the planet. You got all types of patriotic Edomites, so-called white people, and bugged out crazy Negroes, all right, and Latinos that have guns, all right. So there's not going to be any Molotov cocktails or rocks and all that being thrown. It's going to be bullets being fired, all right. So now let's go to Matthew the 24th chapter, all right. Got it linked, got it read. Let's read this. Matthew chapter 24 verse 1. I'm sorry, I'm going to start at 3. Matthew 24 and 3. Matthew 24 verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and the end of the world? Alright, the end of this world. Let's see what he says. It says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. All right, and you got that amongst our nation, amongst the so-called white man. All right, you got plenty of false Christ. All right, it says here, and you shall hear of wars and of rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So what are wars and rumors of wars? Well, you got all these skirmishes going on over there in the Mideast and North Africa.
Gaddafi's air defenses.
You got all that coming, like
Throughout the
example,
night, the
for
US
example, when the whole thing kicked
Libya.
off in
The
Egypt,
strikes
and then
began
Libya, just
with more than
most recent, one of the most
110
recent ones in
Tomahawk
North
missiles
Africa.
launched mostly
All
from
right,
U.S. ships and submarines,
Libya
aiming at more than 20
is
targets,
actually mentioned in
including
prophecy.
surface-to-air
All right,
missile sites. And this
because
morning,
guess who's got a
reports that
major
the U.S.
vested
took
interest in
out a
Libya?
major Libyan
Russia.
airfield
All right, the big
using
bear.
B-2
All
bombers
right,
flown from a base in the U.S.
and there's articles out that show
The ship
that
launched
Libya
missiles
has,
were
guess
fired
what,
from
oil,
some 500
and a lot of
miles
oil.
away in the
All right,
Mediterranean Sea,
so
hitting Libyan
when you
soil
go and
an
mess with
hour
another
later.
country's
These
money,
strikes were carefully
all right,
coordinated with our
you mess with
coalition
any man's
partners.
money, that man is
Before
he's
the
not he's gonna
Tomahawks
have a
were
problem with
launched,
that.
20
He's gonna have a
French
big
fighter
problem with that.
jets flew over rebel-held
Okay,
Benghazi
and like I
in a
said,
show of
Libya is
force,
mentioned in a
taking
major
out one
end-time
Libyan
prophecy.
armored personnel
All right,
carrier. But
it
Muammar
came to pass,
Gaddafi
like we said,
remains
read in Isaiah
defiant,
55
calling
and
into
11.
state TV to
It
say
says
if
here,
the U.S. wants
Matthew 24 and 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Famines, you got plenty of that. That's coming. All right, that's hit a lot of other countries outside of America, but that's coming to America.
Historically, there are multiple examples of sudden rises and sudden falls. Ancient Greece, Mongolia, Japan.
So when you say how could a mighty power like the USA fall, it's really a combination of elements. It's the decline of the USA due to internal factors and global geopolitical situation. And there's a war in the Middle East, there's Saudi Arabia and Iran involved, and that disrupts oil supplies. And the rise of a new power.
The United States' big weakness is their just-in-time economy. Your local supermarket has 3 days worth of stocks on the shelves. If something gets in the way and disrupts that, that's it for our country. You know, our country is on the razor's edge.
America, okay, believe it or not, that is on its way to America. Famines. All right, we always talk about it when we go into this subject. People think that when they go to the store, all right, or the supermarket, or the corner store, wherever you go to get food, they got this misconception that the food is just grown there, or it just appears there on the shelf. No, that's not the case. You got trucks that come in every few days to bring in food and supplies and other goods to these stores to keep their shelves stocked. All right, and it's only a 3-day supply of food, in particular, which we're talking about with famine. All right, there's only a 3-day supply of foods in the back of those stores, and I've worked in the stock room of a major supermarket before. All right, or store,